this morning? Okay, we're ready to start, and we're going to open with our two songs like we always do. The first one is I Love Myself, and the second one is I Stand for Love, and you'll find them in your bulletin.
So stand and sing. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I am. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I am in love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. You sound great. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am. And now I stand for love. I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you, I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you. Yes, we will stand for love and peace. We'll stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. We'll stand for hope, we'll stand for you, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
And in the beginning was the one presence of the undivided, the unmanifest, pure spirit of life, love, and light. And in its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness, and its love, in the visible form of all creation. So we acknowledge his presence within us, and as it flows through us, it acknowledging that it is us. The creative energy of the divine feminine and the masculine, expressing in all our giftedness and in all our creativity. We acknowledge this in our companion, Mother Earth. We acknowledge this in all sentient beings. The universal presence, that universal presence that is in everything, we call that the Christ. And so we light this Christ candle. It's a visible reminder of that Christ presence, expressing in, as, and through us in this present now moment. And that's our truth. Let us own it. Good morning, Unity of Bellingham. I'm your service assistant today, Reverend Frank. And we've given, yay! It's kind of different being behind this. Yeah, oh, thanks, yeah. And so welcome, everyone, and a special welcome to, who's here, to Kathy, Debra, Kate, our music ministers for today. And we'll throw out a little prayer of healing energy to J.P. Falcon, who is supposed to be with us today and called in sick. So, I know, yeah, blessings on him. And thank you for all the people back in the booth, and thank you, Aaron, on the lights, and thank you, everyone who worked so hard to put this together today. And also we want to thank each other, and we want to say a welcome. First off, let's welcome everyone out there on the video, on the camera. Hi, everyone on YouTube and wherever you're at in the world. So good for you to be here. And let's just take a minute and turn to one another with a hug or a handshake or a hello or a namaste, and just greet each other for this morning. Yeah. It is good to be together today, especially in our spring cleaned, lovely facility that so many people worked hard to pull it together. You feel it? Lots of good energy. In our mission statement, we're a joyful, we are evolving spiritual community committed to spiritual practices. Oh, we've talked a lot about those. Right? Compassionate service, yes. And living our lives on purpose. And so as we settle down now, we're going to maybe say with me the 5 unity principles. And if you have them on the back of the card, or if you know them by heart, just say them along with me. God is good and is present in all things. And the holiness of God is my own true nature. I am creating my experiences by how I think. My thinking is guided by my daily affirmative prayer and affirmative actions. I follow and am sustained these values in every way and every day. And so it is. So as we prepare for our time of reflection and meditation, please hold the words of this meditation hymn quietly in your hearts.
I'm held in love, I'm held in peace. is holding me. God is holding me. I'm held in love, I'm held in peace. God is holding me. With every breath, with every step, God is holding me. 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 I'm held in love, I'm held in peace. God is holding me. With every breath, with every step, God is holding me.
Sinking into that energy, being held in the very energy of the divine. God is holding us. Our guest today, our guest speaker, our guest friend, our guest presenter, Swil Kanim is here. And as we prepared and we spoke about this, we spoke about what would be the theme here at the end of Easter season. What can we sink into? And he said, well, here's one that never seems to fail. How about love? How about love? So we sink into that energy, and we allow our breath just to sink deep into our heart space. Maybe even imagine as the temple of your heart, the temple of your very being, the temple of your soul. And with each breath, we can just relax a little bit deeper and settle into that heart space. And recognize that when Paul spoke in Scripture about knowing that we are indeed temples of the Spirit, he's referring to the temples of our bodies, yes, but also the temple that this community is. The church not being a physical building, but rather that body that comes together to sink into the heart space, to recognize the Christ energy within. It is a community. The temple is the community. And so we invite now this deeper breath, this deeper presence of the divine, and we recognize the power of love. Love, the power that harmonizes. Love is that power that creates unity, energy amongst us, between us, as we gather, not only as individuals and as partners and families and friends, but the larger community as well. This harmonizing power. This harmonizing power that forgives. This harmonizing power that opens and is welcoming and says yes to Spirit moving in as and through us. So in that energy of love, in that harmonizing energy, we now bring to mind all the people who we may want to pray for, all the situations we may want to pray for, situations in our life or outside of our particular circumstances that we see, things we want to bring into the harmonizing energy of the divine source that flows through and brings all things into unity consciousness and brings that healing energy to all. And so for whoever and whatever you'd like to pray for, feel free to speak their name or the situation into the room right now. for all these prayers, for all these situations, for all these concerns, for all these joys. We know they are being held in the harmonizing power of love. And the divine presence and spirit is working through each situation for this potential opening, this potentiality of newness, this energy that brings change and healing. And so it is. And now as you sink just a little bit deeper in your chair, taking a breath and knowing the back of the chair is holding you gently, and you can just relax. Relax your shoulders, perhaps. And I acknowledge that there's a truth, an energy moving through me and through each of us. This very evolution of our being, if and when we can move at the speed limit of our heart. And there's other things that demand our attention, that want us to move faster or slower or distract us. But what we know is the very evolution of our being comes forward when we move at the speed limit of our heart. And I accept that as life and love flow through me and come to me, as life brings new opportunities to give me a chance to love in a deeper way, in a more profound way, in a more open way. We're grateful for life for bringing these opportunities. Yes, life always brings opportunities, but one by one, in all these opportunities present potential challenges, we can say, here's one more thing that is showing up for my heart to love. With each opportunity, one more thing that gives my heart a chance to love. And loving others. And also loving myself. And loving myself. And what I know is that we can affirm our heart knows the right choices to make. And sometimes we make choices from all sorts of sources, all sorts of reasons, all sorts of rationales, but our heart knows the choices to make. And so I sink into this prayer space as always, and I go to my heart, that temple of our hearts. And moving at the speed limit of my heart, choice by choice, opportunity by opportunity, I open and I harmonize, there's that word again, harmonize love to bring in unity consciousness. Harmonize with others to seek oneness, harmonize with the own stories in my own life so that they may unfold and so that spirit can work through all these energies to bring harmony, to bring peace. And this happens through that very innocence of my own heart, that place where the divine resides in me, through me, and can speak to the world in a harmonizing, loving fashion. So, as I take a breath in, I say, my heart, I will move at the speed limit of my heart. And as I breathe out, and I will harmonize with the divine life, love, and order into the world. Again, I move at the speed limit of my heart. and I harmonize with divine love, life, and order in my world. And once again, I choose to move at the speed limit of my heart. And then I harmonize with divine life, love, and order in all my choices in the world. And take this mantra with you for just a time in the silence. In the silence.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and true and free as I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. And I am grateful every moment, every day. And I am kinder every moment, every day.
Wow. Whoa. Kate and Kathy, thank you so much. Well, I just wanted to hop up here and introduce our guest for today, Swil Kanim. There was about 20 of us at the Sacred Earth Festival last year. Remember that? And we all sort of sat there with our jaws open, like, who is this person? You know, playing violin and telling stories. And it was just this most wonderful thing. And so many of you said, please ask Swil Kanim to come, except none of you said Swil Kanim. You said, that guy. I said, I don't know who that guy is. And I knew that we would run across each other eventually, and we did, I think, in Ferndale High School. We were able to finally see each other again. We were waiting for him downstairs, and it turned up he was upstairs in the library the whole time. Anyhow, Diane and I found a way, said, please, Unity would be so blessed and honored to have you come and share your message, your storytelling, and what it is that you offer, which is a beautiful gift. So I'm going to sit down, but I just want to let you just announce our friend, Swil Kanim. Thank you for being here.
I love this place. This is freaking awesome. Oh man, I love that. Okay, so I am going to make a statement. I am an entertainer, and this is entertainment. And I'm saying that because there was someone that I respect deeply, especially on a spiritual level, that dismissed what I do as something so much more than entertainment. And I want to clarify something about what I mean by entertainment. If you look at the word entertain, or as in be in the presence of, and meant an intention. So when I enter into this place and space, I came in here with an intention. My wife and I said a brief prayer before we even emptied the trunk with my violin and everything, and it was a beautiful prayer, and it's pretty much what Lori does. She offers beautiful prayers, and yeah, and it was really simple, like, may God give you the words to say. And it was a beautiful thought because she had your well-being in mind for that, right? She wanted the best of you. And so when I came in here, I came in with that intention to love you. Was not expecting to be so in love with you. That's caught me off guard. So I'm going to say that before I read this is something that I wrote to myself as a response to therapy I'm currently in. I'm dealing with depression. I'm working it, and it's a beautiful thing to embrace that notion, because usually a depression happens when, or anxiety happens when there are unmet needs. And I didn't know everything was going so great. Like, how is something not being met? And so in the product of some great therapeutic guidance, I wrote these words as a reflection of my life and what I'm up against. And these words are, that I know who I am is evidence of my education. How I know who I am is my culture. The application or acquisition of knowledge is the measure of my intelligence. And the systemic denial of identity, culture, and inherent intelligence is genocidal. Honor is the antidote to the poison that is genocide. From my culture, I have learned to recognize and acknowledge the journey of all that choose to honor us with their presence. From my honor, I can recognize their truth, feelings, significance, and the passions they act on by their own volition, including but not limited to their recognition and acknowledgement of my honor. From that grace, honor becomes an equalizer on the scales of justice and the pipeline through which divine love flows. This is the transformational power of Amazing Grace. Red light is on. Okay, check. Okay, good. Transformation, that just happened right there. I'm going to tell the story about this. It was a rainy Sunday at the Pike Place Market. I was about $300 short on rent. The manager of my apartment complex told me on the way to the Pike Place Market, he said, if rent is late again this month, this will be your last month here. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's what the owner told me. And I was devastated. I knew that on my best day, I wasn't going to make $300, so I had to start thinking about first and last for the next month and all that kind of stuff, and it was just too much to bear. But you know what? I went to the Pike Place Market anyway. I showed up. And there's these rules at the market when you're a street performer. There's a red note painted on the sidewalk. If you ever see those are official performance spots. And you have to get a permit, and part of the agreement of getting the permit that if someone puts their case on the note, then at the top of the next hour you have to give up the next spot, right? So from 10 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night, there was nobody that came to take my spot. So I played my violin for that amount of time. If you can imagine what that is, hold your arm up for 6 hours, wiggle your other arm, and think about the music you're playing. It can be exhausting. And I had blisters underneath the calluses of my fingertips by that time. It hurt. And I would stop to play and get some circulation into my hands, and that just increased the pressure, and it hurt even more. So it actually hurt less to just keep playing. And so I kept playing. And near the end of the day, a man was walking toward me. And it's funny, I say that when I'm looking at this carpet. I imagine him walking toward me like that. And he's reaching in his pocket. And instead of pulling out a dollar bill or something like that, or change, he pulled out a Christian tract. You know what those are? Like, they give you the 4 steps to salvation in a flimsy piece of paper, right? And he was about to put one of those flimsy pieces of paper in my empty violin case, and I said to him, and shall I say, non-Christian terms, I said, I don't need no Christian tract. What I need is $300 for rent. You got that in your pocket? And he said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. And I said, well, you did. Those Christians' tracts are stacked up on my windowsill. I'm going to see which denomination's going to win at the end of the year. And he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I know, I'll tip you if you play Amazing Grace for me. And I said, all right, I'll play Amazing Grace. I'll play it so bad and out of tune, you won't even tell that it is Amazing Grace. And then you got to tip me because you're a Christian. You got to be a man of your word. And he said, so I'm sorry, I got to be able to tell that it is Amazing Grace. And I said, okay, I'll play it so bad and out of tune, you'll just barely tell that it is Amazing Grace. And then you got to tip me because you're a Christian. You got to be a man of your word. And then he put, and I said, he said, all right. And I said, okay. So I stepped back. And I thought, okay, I got to play Amazing Grace in the wrong key, in the wrong pitch, the wrong attitude, and most definitely without grace. And then, and I noticed as I was playing the third verse that my fingers started to play the right notes. And I said, hey, fingers, play the wrong notes. But they just kept playing the right notes. And then I thought, maybe if I play it right for him a couple verses, maybe he'll give me a bigger tip, right? And I could pick up a Big Mac. I was worried about bus fare home, let alone $300 for rent. And I closed my eyes, and I'm listening to the song, and then I realized how abusive I was. So here's what I mean by abusive. Rather than owning my own life experience, I was trying to make him feel my feelings for me. Right? I was trying to make him feel my anger, make him feel my sadness, make him feel my hopelessness. I was abusive. And then I noticed I had a leak on my cheek. I opened my eyes, and there was a big crowd of people standing around. They hadn't been there all day long. And about this size, maybe, I don't know how many people are online, but it wasn't that. It was literally how many people showed up here today. It was a beautiful experience because my Christian friend, this time he reached in his pocket and he pulled out a dollar bill and he said to everyone standing around, he said, my friend here, he needs $300 for rent, and he put $1 bill in my empty violin case. And then I started hearing things that street performers dream of, like questions. People were curious. Things like, "Excuse me, sir, do you accept checks?" And I was like, yeah. Which way to the nearest ATM machine? Up the stairs to the left. It was amazing. People, I want to assure you in the most profound way that I had more than enough for rent that month. I had enough money to produce my first demo CD, A Little Boat in the Big River. Now, why am I telling you this story before I play Amazing Grace? I want you to understand. I want you to understand that trying to pray is praying. That you don't need a perfect understanding of theology. You don't need a perfect reason to pray. Sometimes going through the motions is enough. Just showing up. This is my version of Amazing Grace. I was picking up my hand drum from Lori, and she goes, "You got me there." Oh. So speaking about honor being the antidote to genocide, I want to point out from my culture, I learned how to hold the drum with my left hand because it's closest to my heartbeat, which is most reflective of the earth beat, which is where the drum beat comes from. So it's held by my left hand, but scientists and people way smarter than me have figured out that my left hand is controlled by my right brain. And my right hand is controlled by my left brain. So I hold the drumstick in my right hand and my drum in my left hand. And when I commit to having it come together, my frontal vortex is activated. And in fact, my entire nervous system, I can start to feel it right now. I'm going to play this drum. I'm going to find the beat. I'm going to be integrated into this moment with you through a drum. Now, well, I grew up believing the Indians only played primitive instruments, but this drum connects me to my elders. It connects me to my ancestors and their ancestors. It connects me to the beginning of time. It's a time traveler. It connects me to then, and it connects me to now. And then the next time I beat the drum, it connects me to the future. So this drum, people will gather for, and be unified in the simplicity of just coming together. Now, I say simple, but there are entire social networks out there designed to give us the feeling of being present to one another. But the drum actually does that. It actually helps us to realize that we are in this moment together. In the anticipation of beating my drum, your hearts are racing already. Your thoughts of unity are happening already. Your thoughts of integration, that we are one together, is already happening. I can see it. And some of you are like, hit the freaking drum. I see it. I'm connected to my elders. I'm connected to my ancestors. I'm connected to the beginning of time. I'm connected to the children who beat the drum today. I'm connected to their future children, future generations, and I'm connected to this moment right now, here with you, this sacred heartbeat. If I ever get off track, just look for the next opportunity to get back on track. This primitive instrument is also an effective tool for resilience. If you wonder how did Lummi people survive the best efforts of genocide? I promise you, it was their culture. Despite the best efforts to take our culture away, I was one of those children snatched up. I came back home to the presence of my elders. I feel the spirit of my ancestors in me right now, talking to me about the healing power of love, grace, and the honor among all of us. taught to recognize and acknowledge the journey of everyone that's in the room, to thank them for their presence. That's a part of our culture. That's how I know who I am. We are who we are. In the presence of honor, I can see when others are dishonored. And I can see how my honor can be present to their truth, their feelings, their significance, and the passions they act on by their own volition. From my honor, I can be present to their honor. That's my culture. It's how I know who I am. It's evidence of my education that I know who I am. When I say I love you, I may fail. But it is my intention to make the pain of your life worthwhile, the pain of my elders' life worthwhile, the pain of my ancestors' lives worthwhile. It is my intention to love you with all of my soul. It is an honor to share this beat with you. It's an honor to be present to you. It's an honor to love you. Is all right? Okay. It's okay if you dishonor us. It's all right. We can handle it. Like my little wife, Lori. Okay, you ready? So I'm going to leave with these final words. Be realistic about your love. Well, let's be clear about that. Most people use that phrase to dismiss your dreams. But I'm saying be realistic in the true definition of that dream. And that is be realistic as in true to life. The Mona Lisa, the painting of Mona Lisa is true to life. It's a realistic painting. It inspires love. It inspires the presence of other people. Living in future generations, be realistic with your love. Understand that your love is all we need. That's it. This is the season for love. This is the time when we think about the long suffering of others and how they've endured those things. And our job is to recognize or recognize, rethink their life in front of you as a journey that brought you to their presence. Love them for the journey. Love me for the journey. If you have a hard time loving someone else, just remember how lovable I am, right? Practice with me, okay? Love me. And I love that. You do already, right? I love that. And it's an easy thing with me, I know. Remember how easy it is to love me, and then find someone really hard to love. And love them with your skill set, right? Right? Remember that. Be realistic, true to life. With all of my heart from my elders and ancestors, I raise my hands in gratitude. Natsiem, Natschalakasiem, Haishka. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God, what do you what do you say after that? You know, one of our mission, I was thinking as you were speaking, was to be joyful and evolving, to practice, do our spiritual practices, to be of service, and to be on purpose. And I was sitting here saying, boy, you, right? You nailed that mission statement on that one. And I love that, I don't know, just a comment. When I feel in that presence of someone sharing their art, but from such a deep heartfelt, honest space, it's just, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's really, really touching. Okay, so we have to do something. I swear I just want to sit here for 5 minutes in silence. But I'm looking at the clock, and we need to move on. And so the ushers will come forward now. And as we give our offering, we know abundance is our divine inheritance. And giving is our gift of love and our appreciation. And Unity of Bellingham, we always appreciate your generosity and support of this ministry. Well, we're creating it together. We're being on purpose. We're being on service. We're offering spiritual practices for ourselves, for this community and the greater Bellingham community, in the greater regional area, for all the people here. This includes each of you with us in person, all who are online. Thank you. And so as you take your offering in your heart, affirm quietly to yourself, I give freely, I give joyfully, I give in love, for God is my source, and I do have abundance in all areas of my life. So join me now as we say our offertory blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen.
When I meet you here, see your eyes shining bright, windows on your heart's own light. It's the light of love. When I take your hand, look into your smiling face, there can't be a better place when I meet you here. When I meet you here, there hardly seems a need for words. Power of the universe flows through you and me. When our voices sing, we recite our every fear. Every note is sweet and clear when I meet you here. On this day we come together in the morning sun to see our children laugh and run and to share this dream. Everlasting light that shines to let our souls ascend. It shines on you and me, my friend, when I meet you here. When I meet you here, see your eyes shining bright, windows on your heart's own light. It's the light of love. When I take your hand, look into your smiling face, there can't be a better place when I meet you here.
And so we bless these gifts. So much gratitude. They're offered with love and with energy and with vision, and for all the amazing things that are unfolding here at Unity of Bellingham and for our greater community and in our lives. So we bless these with so much gratitude. May they go forward to support the ministry and mission of Unity of Bellingham, for unity worldwide, for our greater community, for peace on our planet. And so it is. Amen. Oh, and by the way, especially for people who are online, we do have a text to give, since you can't get a basket online. And that's 360-519-5195. 360-519-5195. And so, as always, have a few announcements. I got some great stuff. So first off, Swil Kanim is staying after service, so give everyone a chance to get some. I think we're going to have a veggie tray and some pie, and take a moment, get what you want, and then we'll come back and spend a little time and have a little more music or a story or something. And it's so great to have him here. We want to have the chance, and we'll probably just, a love offering would be appreciated to support his work and his efforts. This is Deeper Meanings. Do you want to answer? Go ahead.
I just want to know, are there CDs?
Oh, are there CDs here today? Amazon? iTunes.
I'm mostly download now. Yeah.
Just want to know where to get it.
Pandora, Apple Music, Spotify.
Yeah, Pandora, Apple Music, Spotify. I'll say this on the mic. The question was, are there CDs? And it's Swil Kanim says mostly download at this point. Yeah, off your website as well?
Yes.
And off his website, which is swilkanim.com. Amazing. Just have to spell that right. Okay. So thank you for the question. Deeper meanings class. Anyone who's in deeper meanings, I know many of you said you've done your homework. Right after service, meet George in the library. We're making a plan. You know, the idea was to do it every third Sunday, and it seems like every third Sunday there's a conflict. So we're going to get a plan B, so this is going to happen. So meet George. We're going to make a plan right after service, so you can have, you know, a little time to do that, and then come back out for the presentation by Swil Kanim. Thank you, George, for leading that. By the way, board members, next week for Sunday board meeting. And then a couple things coming up. In a couple weeks, June 7th, Kate Moody and Nick Strobel, piano and cello, are going to be performing here on a Wednesday night. Mystical romantic music. I mean, yeah, it's summer. Come on, mystical romantic music. And I haven't heard Kate, but she used to be here, I guess. A lot of you know Kate Moody, so she'll be back. There's another group I wanted to tell you about this. It's coming up on June 2nd, on Friday night. And I'm showing you the picture because you'll see them on the bulletin boards outside. And this is an improv group. It's sort of a spiritual improv, if you've seen improv. And I met this troupe, and they do, and so I went to their practice the other day so I could explain to you what it is exactly they're going to be doing. And essentially, we take ideas from the people who show up, some kind of story, something that's happened to them. And the theme is going to be COVID, because we've had all these issues with COVID, but you know, how much have we really had a chance to sort of sink in and share with each other? And you know, is it just going to be something that happened, now we're going to move on and not ever process any of this? So the idea is both stories of actual wins, you know, something that showed up surprisingly out of COVID that maybe was supportive, and also things that were like, this is the things we're struggling with. And the basic idea is you share your story with the troupe, and then you sit back and watch what they do. And I was just shocked. Just amazing to see other people acknowledge and listen to our experience, and then provide a visual acting presentation with actors and music that put your experience, and so that we can see it reflected and maybe feel it and understand it in a different way. It's really remarkable. So that's going to be, and I said, well, we'll have it here. But we want to do that. So it's, you know, so it's those of us, but we're going to try to get all sorts of people to come to this. Again, that's on a Friday, June 2nd. So it's coming up 7:30 to 9:30. Also, by the way, we have this new brochure, and it's out on the front. Janae put this together, and it's our outreach ministry. We talk about spiritual practices, compassionate service. So we wanted to give people more opportunities or understandings of a lot of the things that as a community we've been doing for outreach. And so it's a whole list of things that community members as a community and individual members have been involved with, gives ideas that things that people might want to plug into. And I know coming up soon there's a way that through Interfaith we've been supporting people with groceries. We don't bring cooked food, but we show up with groceries and allow them to help a meal. These are people who are maybe getting in a home for right now, maybe even for a first time or an opportunity. And if you're really lucky, you get to end up holding a baby for a while they unpack the groceries. So all sorts of things happen. I think Janae and Debra so far have been involved in this ministry, but we need more people to shop, bring groceries, bring things by, help out. And it's something, we went to Interfaith and said, hey, we want to play. What can we do? And they said, we got a job for you. So Unity stepped up, and we're doing this outreach with them. So our Whatever Arises, Love That, is wrapping up in a couple weeks. And then the next Wednesday will be that Kate Moody concert. And then we get another great book. And so we asked around a lot of people, who would you like to take a look at? Who would you like to study? And we're doing this book by Brene Brown, Braving the Wilderness. And our own Jana is going to lead this for a 7-week series, and that is going to start on June 14th. So anyhow, if you don't know Brene Brown, she's pretty popular on TED Talks and YouTube, and really fascinating author and speaker. And if you don't know, it's like, what would that book be about? Some of the chapters are, people are hard to hate close up, so move in. Speak truth to BS, but be civil. Hold hands with strangers. So you get an idea. It's really braving the wilderness, asking us to move into new areas of courage and vulnerability and love in our community. That's going to be on June 14th, will be the first Wednesday. Yeah, that'll be a 7-week Wednesday series. And sign-ups will start next week. You'll see it. But I just want to give you a preview that that's coming. I wanted to say also, okay, I'm going to mention some names, because if you look around and you see that Greg and Debra and Howard and Tom and Helga and Tess and Diane, these are all the people that showed up and worked for hours yesterday cleaning up and doing our spring cleaning. Janae and Michael and George and Jay Scott and Gary. Gary, do you notice the windows are all sparkling clean? Thank you, Gary, for being out here washing windows. Joanna in the garden, and Jonathan and Russ and Belle for the clean church, and the new roof, and the refrigerator tossed out, and the kitchen all cleaned up, and the room all sparkled, and for all the things everybody did. So thank you, everyone who came out for the spring cleaning. And if you go, shoot, I missed it, I would like to do something like that. See Janae. There. There's always more things to do. So I say, if you missed out on the fun, the list goes on. See you today. Okay. Sorry, lots of announcements. So I think that's it for announcements. So now we have a song. Please stand.
Let's stand and sing, Go Out and Shine. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Want to change, make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine.
And as we complete our service today, please join together as we say together our prayer of protection. And we do mean to include everybody, everywhere. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Thank you for being here today. Remember, we have lots of food after: celery, hummus, vegetables, pie, lots of good stuff. So please stay.
Make a circle.
And circle up for our final song.